Hey there, Griffins. This is Giovanni.
And Sara. Hi, guys.
In the morning.
Yay!
Hey, guys. So we have a very special guest coming on our program today.
We do. Very exciting. We've been trying to get him on the show for a while, but finally, he is coming to a podcast near you.
Yes, and he is a local break artist here in San Diego, right, Sara?
Right. We talk about him almost all the time here on Giovanni and Sara in the morning.
And he'll be talking about his musical life and what he does as an artist. And maybe he might even sing for us on this podcast. You never know.
Man, just imagine if he sings acoustically to us.
Yeah, oh my, he's going to serenade us. Oh, that would be a great time.
Oh, I'm ready. Record the screen, guys. We're going.
We are. Ladies and gentlemen, here is...
Alex Lievanos.
Woo!
Hey guys, my name's Alex Lievanos. I'm a local singer-songwriter from San Diego, and you're listening to Griffin Radio.
Yes!
Yay!
Woo-hoo!
Hi, Alex.
Hello, how's it going?
Good. Welcome to the podcast.
A pleasure to be here.
Yeah, Alex, thank you so much for being here. You are our very first special guest that we have here on Giovanni and Sara. Woo-hoo!
Yeah.
Hooray.
Yeah. I think G and I have been talking about doing this for a while, haven't we, G?
We did. Like, since we were at the station before all this, virus thing went out, we were like, we should have Alex come over to the station and, play us some music.
We should.
Yeah, Alex.
Well, now that you're here, what do you think?
This is very, very different. This is actually my first quarantine interview for the most part, and through video chat, so it's definitely kind of cool. It's almost like you're watching a news station and you're watching Dr. Fauci just talk about what's the updates of the virus, but it's over Skype or something like that, and it's kind of cool, except I'm nowhere near as good as Dr. Fauci, but it's just an example. It's done remotely.
Exactly. Well, yes, this is quite different than just being in a normal studio and something new to try.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, so Alex, how have you been doing? How have you been coping with all this, coronavirus thing that's happening?
I've been staying home for the most part. I'm just, only going grocery shopping for every couple days, except this past week I've been kind of going every day for whatever reason. But I've been just getting groceries every day, and then usually I forget one essential item. I'm like, oh shoot, I forgot that one item that I need. So literally the next day I'll just go back and return it. And then as far as masks go, I don't exactly have any legitimate masks. So I just use a shirt that I wash first. And then I use a long sleeve shirt, and then I just tie it like a headband so I look like a ninja. And it whatever works, to be honest. Whatever the CDC recommends, scarves or shirts or anything like that, it's better than nothing, to be honest.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then I've been kind of just cooking at home for the most part. Maybe once or twice a week I'll go out and eat, but I'll just only do drive-through. So so far, In-N-Out and Raising Cane's have been my best friends as far as takeout goes. Shout out to them. So it's it's definitely been it's been really, really really chill for the most part, but so far my family's okay, my grandpa's okay, most of my family's pretty much okay for the most part.
That's awesome. Good to hear.
I was just about to ask you, how many times have you been to Raising Cane's in this couple of weeks?
Gosh, oh my god, geez, I think they know me there now, but probably at least 30 times possibly within the last, probably this year, to be honest.
Oh my god.
Do they know your name? When you come in, they're like, Alex, hey, what's up, buddy?
A couple people do. I actually have one good friend of mine that I've known since high school, and he works there now, and I didn't know he worked there. And he was like, oh, shoot, that's Alex. Oh my gosh. And I'm like, wait a minute. Oh my gosh. I haven't seen him in years.
Oh, that's
and so
funny.
It was kind of cool to see him there. And apparently he's been working there for a year, and I just realized it.
Wow.
I guess you've been coming in on the wrong days.
Honestly, yeah. It's just the luck of the draw.
I mean, you are a local celebrity, so
true.
When you come in, they're going to be like, oh my god, that's Alex Lievanos. Ah!
I mean, that's how we are, so... So, G, how are you? How are you doing? How was your day?
I've been doing well, thank you. Yeah, it's another beautiful day today, has it been?
It has, yeah.
Yeah, pretty much I've just been working on editing. That's pretty much my life
Me
right now.
too.
I'm just editing on
Me
Adobe
too.
Premiere and then Adobe Audition and going back and forth because, when you work at a radio station,
That's all you do.
when you do podcasts and everything's online, it's different from just doing it regularly in the studio. And so I've been getting used to pretty much just editing and getting my projects done, getting them turned in and putting them online. It's been pretty hectic. There are some nights I stay up until 4 a.m. doing it, but hey,
Oh my God.
it's totally worth it in the end. You have a finished product out there that you want to put out there, and just as long as it gets done and it's out there, it's totally worth it.
Is that the same with music, Alex?
Yeah, actually, I've been doing a lot of. I actually just had a chat with my one of my producers last night. We're actually going to be working on new music. Kind of like over Zoom actually. So like what we're
Like this?
yeah, pretty much just like this. And like so I've been doing a lot more covers now that I'm like at home and like not working right now. I just ordered a new condenser mic so I can actually like
Wow.
sing vocals instead of using this mic right here, even though it kind of works for like recording sessions, but like if you want to like record like studio quality vocals, like a condenser mic is a way to go.
Right.
But I just ordered one today. So once that comes out, then I'll start like recording original music, and then I'll send the tracks over to my producer Casey, and then we're gonna go through Zoom and we're gonna like work on it together, see how that goes.
Oh, that's awesome, Alex.
Yeah, definitely gonna be some new music coming soon. As far as music videos go, I'm not sure how I'm gonna do them, but I'm gonna see how I can do with like in my house and
Yeah.
what's gonna happen. I'm ordering some LED lights to see if that like
Ooh.
spices things up. Who knows? But like people will more likely to see your stuff if you have like a video along with it.
Right.
Because not a lot of people listen to new tracks anymore. It kind of has to be like has to be like a video, unless you happen to be like really big or something like that. But if you're like starting out like I am, despite like being in the music scene for a couple of years, like having videos out constantly is better because you have a visual. And since everyone's going to be inside most of the time,
Right.
and they listen to music, if they have like a visual that they can watch on like YouTube or something,
Yeah.
it's definitely going to add on to like the whole experience rather than just like listening to it,
Yeah, definitely.
in my opinion.
Wow, I'm shook. Oh, I'm really amazed by your words, Alex. So inspiring. I'm so happy for you. You're getting a new microphone and all that. This is a condenser mic, right? The one that I'm using right now?
Yeah, this is a condenser mic.
Yes, it looks like one.
Yeah.
Yes.
I believe so. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm using a condenser mic.
Yes, you are.
Yeah, I'm so happy for you, Alex.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Making new music.
Yeah, it's
you.
really exciting. We're really happy for you. Excited to hear it.
Thank you.
Yeah, hopefully we can hear it soon and hopefully you can, perform it.
Yeah, hopefully do like a live stream performance. I've been wanting to do one, but I just didn't have the proper like equipment yet. But hopefully
We were about to talk you into that.
How do you read our minds? How do you do this?
we'll see what happens.
Well, you should definitely do one. I'm sure you'll have a lot of viewers. People are bored. People are at home. So
Yes.
there you go.
And I'll be one of the viewers too. I'll be sure to tune in.
Me too. Definitely.
Thank you.
And if you make a post, we'll share it.
Yeah.
We'll repost it so that other people will
Thank you.
know, so that more people will chime in and discover your music, because you are an epic
You are.
artist here in San Diego.
Thank you.
And you have such a wonderful voice, and your voice
does.
is unique.
It
It's
does.
different from other artists. And so,
Thank you.
from what I've heard, with the covers that you've been doing on YouTube, by the way, great job on that.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Thank you so much.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, if you guys haven't known, Alex Lievanos has a YouTube channel and he posts covers on there as well. So if you guys can go ahead and move over to his channel real quick, check it out. It's Alex Lievanos. Your last name is Lievanos, right?
Correct. Yes.
There you go. I got it.
You spelled it right.
Yay!
I swear, a lot of people like will like spell it without the E. They think it's like, or it's like Levanos, and I'm like, oh, so close, and like whatever. But
Triggered.
It's fine. No, I mean, like there's some venues that like performed at that don't even try. They're all like, oh, I'll just like put LVAN. They'll like just not even put all the vowels.
What?
And it's like, oh my God. Wow. Okay. But I mean, people do the same with Ed Sheeran. Like they don't like put 2 E's on his last name.
Really?
And it's like, yeah, it's weird. It's like, oh yeah, do you listen to this guy named Ed Sheeran? And I'm like, you mean Ed Sheeran? Did you like forget that the second
God,
E?
what?
And I'm like, I don't know, but it's whatever. Like people still know who he is, regardless if they spell the last name
Right.
wrong or whatnot. So I mean, you know, that's all that matters is that people know the face and they know the music.
Yeah, exactly.
And, you know, it's great that they know the name or they pronounce it wrong. The fact is that if they listen to the music, then that's great. That's honestly all I care about, to be honest.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's what matters, right?
Yeah, they listen.
Definitely. And, you know, speaking about music, are you going to be are you going to like have a show in the near future after all of this virus is over?
Yes, absolutely. I've heard quite a lot of rumors about when concerts are going to be happening. Apparently, Governor Newsom mentioned that there's not going to be any more concerts in California until a vaccine is found.
Boo.
No. When that vaccine is going to be found, you know, we're in a state of uncertainty right now, and we don't know what's going to happen.
Right.
And I've even read an article somewhere, I forgot who mentioned it, but they even said something like fall 2021 is like the earliest.
What?
And that's a
No.
long time. That's a long time. And it was just like, wow, like no live shows and like until fall 2021, and that's the earliest. That can go longer.
Oh my God.
Like so many musicians that like rely on touring for income are screwed.
Yeah.
Because of this virus. And it's like, wow. So that basically means that like, you know, my birthday show that I was going to plan for this year is like, that's down the drain now. And
Aww.
like any like EP release show or anything like that, like none of that's happening unless it's like live stream.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I mean, live streaming concerts is probably gonna be the way to go for like this year and most likely the next, and possibly the upcoming year after that.
Jeez.
If there's no vaccine to be found. But I'm hoping that there is a vaccine that gets found soon. And
Agreed.
you know, I think, you know, despite what our president has done, you know, and like, you know, I won't talk about him too much, but like, despite what he's done, I'm still hopeful that there will be some sort of like miracle going on.
Yeah.
And, you know, because I have faith in the country, despite how much stuff it throws at us.
Right.
And despite like what we go through, we've always pull out of it in the end. It is what it is. And so I'm hoping
Exactly.
it helps. I'm hoping we find a vaccine like really soon.
Yeah, definitely. I know I can't even like wrap my head around the fact that we may extend this thing all the way through next year. And, you know, I've been hearing that, you know, we might open up the country as early as May 14, somewhere around that area. And I really hope we do. Sooner than later is better than, you know,
Yeah.
because I'm going to go crazy if this thing goes on for till next year.
Oh,
you know,
God.
or otherwise just jumpstart the whole entire year again and just start all over. You know what I mean?
Yeah. As far as opening it back up the country, like I'm definitely sure we're going to be opening it back up the country like this year for sure. As far as like public gatherings though, as far as like, you know, huge public gatherings like concerts or like even Comic-Con and like the Del Mar Fair, those have been postponed till next year as well.
I can't believe it. I can't believe the fair was postponed.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just like, that's probably the first time that's ever happened in like the history of humankind. And it's a scary time to live in right now. And, you know, I personally think that like we will open back up the country this year for sure.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know how soon, but hopefully sooner than later. But I do believe that we need to like the whole flattening the curve time to actually flatten the curve.
Exactly.
We need to give hospitals a chance to like actually, you know, work on the patients because they are overwhelmed right now. They're very overwhelmed. So, and I think, you know,
Oh, yeah.
from what I've heard in California that the peak is coming really sooner. It's probably already reaching its peak right now. If we open back up the country too early, then like the virus might even like get worse than before because we kind of like opened it up too early. It's like kind of like healing a wound. It's like if you open up the band-aids too early, it's gonna like get worse than before. You just need to let it heal for like a week or two, except in this case probably like months.
Right.
That's why it's always important to just stay inside. Only go out when you truly need groceries and, you know, put a mask on, put gloves on, put whatever you need on, and don't like, you know, don't go to friends' houses, don't go to any of that stuff. I know it's really hard to do. That's why that's why they have Zoom chats. That's why they have video chats. And,
Right.
you know, I really wish they had like, you know, ways to like incorporate games to those video chats, because like we can't find an app now.
I know.
Unless, I don't know. But yeah, it's definitely important to like just practice social distancing, you know, stay home, do whatever you can to make your immune system better, and do whatever you can to like just, you know, hopefully not get the virus. And it's super important. Super important.
Yeah, definitely. Like that old saying, it has to get worse before it gets better. Mm-hmm. So, you know, you have to go through all the trials and tribulations and all the bad stuff before you can get to the good stuff. Like you said, it has to peak, you know, it's like a wound. So we just got to get through it. You know, like you said, we got to stay home. We got to go out when we truly need to. And it's hard. I mean, I definitely miss hanging out with people, you know. Mm-hmm. I'm pretty sure we all do. I'm pretty sure we all miss our group hangouts. Yeah,
and human connection is important.
Yeah, this isn't. Oh, sorry.
Oh, go ahead, G. Sorry.
So this is like a new way. This is communication in 2020. It's all about, it's Zoom now. Or FaceTime or whatnot. And I believe, Sarah, you talked about this in your podcast as well, the different methods of communication with different apps. And you've been comparing it, right?
I did. So in my podcast, my solo podcast, I went through a few of the apps that we use to video chat on. And I just compared them and just like said, oh, this one's more for this one's more for that. Yeah. So if anybody wants to listen to that, you can see it on the YouTube page. Woohoo!
Yeah.
Hooray.
Yes. And Alex, what do you think about COVID-19 impacting the music industry right now? How are you impacted personally by this virus?
Well, personally, I'm not phased too much about it. Really, after my album release show, I'm gonna take a break off of like playing shows anyways, and just kind of like, you know, recollect myself and just kind of like work on recorded music for the time being. As soon as that was over, I was gonna start playing shows again, and that was gonna happen in like May or June. But unfortunately, it looks like it's gonna take until like later next year. It seems like it's gonna be like a really huge break in live music for sure. A lot of like artists are out of work now, like not just like musicians, but like including like photographers that take photos at those music events, including like vendors, or including like every booking agent that you can think of. Every like touring agent is out of work right now.
Yeah.
And they cannot like plan those tours because, you know, obviously you can't like have all these gatherings. So how it's affecting me personally, it's not affecting me too badly. You know, I'm still working on music at home and doing all that good stuff and just focusing on recording music and focusing on, you know, hopefully getting more listeners and whatnot. But as far as my friends go that were going on tour, I had a really good friend of mine who plays in Buddha Trixie, and they were going to be opening up for the Frights.
Wowzers.
A few shows, and that ended up getting canceled.
Ah, what a bummer.
It was pretty devastating, I think, because Frights are really big, and I'm sure it was like a really good thing for them to be on. And I was super proud of them. And then the virus just happened, and now we're not allowed to have concerts anymore because of that, due to the safety issues revolving around COVID-19.
Right,
so it's definitely affecting a lot of musicians, and a lot of like even like famous musicians as well, I think, just in the aspect of like, you know, how they're handling it, as far as like, you know, living in nice homes and whatnot. But as far as like, you know, getting to do what they love in general, for me, like if I was like ever famous or something like that.
You will be. You will be. Soon, you will be.
That's a known fact right there.
Hopefully.
You will be. Don't be like that, Alex. You will be. You will be in the future sometime. You will be famous. Don't. Anyway, go on.
As far as like a lot of like, you know, famous artists go, a lot of them can't do what they love anymore right now. Despite like, you know, they can still like release music, but like playing live has a totally different energy to it.
Exactly.
And they can still do live streaming, but to me personally, that's kind of not the same as like going on a stage and like interacting with people.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like I can interact with people on a screen, but it's like I can just stare at one screen and just like move my eyes. When I'm on a stage, it's like I can move around and like interact with people and all that good stuff.
Exactly.
And despite that, you know, of course, playing live to an audience is, you know, you can run into sound problems and stuff, but doing live streams, like what if like it lags? What if it's all distorted and what if there's like technical difficulties and whatnot?
Right.
Like that's two problems right there as far as if you're having sound issues, playing live yourself and then having like other technical issues with like Zoom or something like that. At the same time, we just make do with what we have for the time being.
Absolutely.
And, you know, I'm glad that we still have, you know, a medium to go through as far as like performing goes. It's just not going to be quite the same for a long time. And in this case, you know, not until like late 2021 or early 2022, who knows how long it's going to take.
Right.
So as far as affecting the music industry goes, like mostly everybody's out of work right now. As far as like touring and like you know, playing music, you know, right now live streaming is the one way to do it. And there are quite a lot of things that you could actually do.
Live streaming. It's the end thing right now with concerts. You know, you replace a concert in person with a concert now is now live on Instagram or live on pretty much on any social platform, right?
Right. Mm-hmm. But it does not compare to, you know, an artist being on stage and getting that audience reaction of screams when they go, "How you doing tonight?" You know? Mm-hmm. Sure, they can ask the screen and people can be all like texting, they'll go, "I'm doing great," or whatever. But not everybody gets this. They don't get to everybody, but they normally never do. But at the same time, like, it's just a much different platform. But I mean, at the same time, looking at the positive side to it, they're still playing music for fans.
Absolutely.
They're still giving fans an opportunity to listen to them live. Yes, it may lag a little bit. Yes, it's not in person. But, you know, for people who couldn't afford to go to a concert and have a nice computer instead, mm-hmm. well, that performer is giving them a concert at home.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's right. And, you know, with the technology that we have in the 21st century, here in 2020, you know, I'm pretty thankful that we have something like this, you know, where we can, you know, connect with our favorite artist in a virtual sense, so to speak. You know, even though we can't physically see them in person, we can still try to, like, you know, interact and, you know, do a little something, because something, again, is better than nothing, right?
Exactly.
Alex, let's talk about your music, pretty much your genre of music. What does it consist of? What is it? Is it pop? Is it alternative? What is it?
It's kind of like a mix of both, like alternative and pop. It's like a mix of like Rex Orange County, Charlie Puth, and let's see. Gosh, I didn't really prepare an answer for the comparisons, but but yeah, it's more like a mix of like Charlie Puth, Rex Orange County, Borns, and you know, all those cool indie pop artists and all that stuff. As far as like new music goes, it's definitely going to be a lot more harsher as far as like the tone goes. So I mean, like, it's not going to be it's not going to be like heavier or anything like that, but like the meaning.
Heavy metal.
Oh my gosh.
Kidding.
As far as like the tone itself, like as far as like the lyrical meaning goes, it's going to be a lot like harsher.
Wow.
It's like talking to somebody who you want to be with for so long, like whether it's like, you know, it's a romantic partner or something like that, or your family.
Jeepers.
It's about like ruminating about whether you're good enough or not, and just like kind of like thinking about all these toxic thoughts. I'm putting those toxic thoughts into songs, and just kind of like having like a theme behind it. And so I've been like writing quite a lot of demos while in quarantine, and me and my producer are going to be working with them over Zoom, and I'll be tracking vocals through that new condenser mic I ordered, and we'll go ahead and go from there.
Wow, really cool. And, you know, through your music, Alex, like, in your life experience, do you express like your feelings and your thoughts through your music?
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. It's a lot easier for me to express myself through music for whatever reason. I mean, that's just kind of who I am, really. But like, I'm not too good at like expressing my emotions like personally without like having an artistic medium. For me, I feel like, you know, I'm still working on something like that through myself, and just like, you know, as far as like debating goes and whatnot, like I'm not too good at like coming up with like arguments, but when I put it in a song, people resonate with that a lot better, whereas if you're just talking. And for me, that's been like a creative outlet for a lot of topics that I do want to discuss. And for me, it's like a better understanding of like what the song's about and what I'm talking about, I think, or what I'm like singing about in this case. So yeah, I would definitely say like, you know, expressing myself through music has definitely been better than just expressing myself in general by just speaking and all that stuff. It's been super helpful for me personally.
Do you think that music to you is like, it's kind of like an intimate medium where you get to connect with pretty much the listeners, and so they can relate to you on a personal level, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I think when you create art to a degree, like if it's like a painting or if it's like poetry or if it's like a song,
Yeah.
I think that tends to be a more creative outlet and more creative resonance towards others. Whereas if you're just speaking, to me, I feel like, you know, when you watch debate, like you just hear two people just debating, and sometimes that goes into a heated argument. Pretty much what happens like with every political debate, like there's always like, they're just talking and then they're just like arguing all of a sudden. For me personally, I feel like the creative aspect of like writing music or, you know, painting a picture or something like that, I feel like the meaning behind that is a lot more powerful because it, instead of just listening to a conversation, a lot of people will either tune into that conversation or they will most likely not tune into that conversation, or they probably won't be having that big of an attention span for too long when they just watch a debate. For me, you know, if I disagreed with somebody on a certain topic, I did something and he wasn't really happy with it. Instead of kind of just like telling him that, instead of just telling him that if I don't want, I don't know. See, this is a prime example right here. I don't know how to explain myself. And if I just like wrote a song about it, it would be like a lot easier for me. And so, yeah, I'll go ahead and use this example. Like if my friend didn't like the way that I work with something, and I went ahead and said, okay, cool. Sorry. You know, I'll work on it better next time. For me, it's like, if I write a song about that particular moment, expressing myself better towards my friend who just didn't like the way I worked with something. Whereas if it's like, I didn't like the fact that you broke up with this girl over text. Like, what was the reason of that? That's like a totally like, you know, crap move. And I'm like, well, there was kind of a reason for that. She was really toxic, first of all, and a lot of her friends were not very happy with her either. And, you know, I'm not saying that's like an excuse or anything, but just more like, you know, I didn't exactly want to like, I didn't exactly want to deal with this specific person. So I kind of just like said, hey, it's kind of over. I don't really feel like I don't want to like speak to this in a sense. So when that specific friend tells me like, oh, well, you should have done this. It would have been a lot healthier if you had done this. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. But really, I think for me, it's better to do it this way, in my personal opinion, because this toxic person is not going to change. And so if this friend gets like particularly like mad at me for doing that, and I get disappointed, and I'm too ashamed to like, if I'm too ashamed to like express myself saying, well, actually she was just toxic, then to me, it's like, if I write a song about that moment where I was too ashamed to express myself, I just put it into a song, and there we go. And I know I just like, you know, explained a bunch of weird stuff, but like, it's just like, for me, if it's something that, if I had like a disappointing outcome in something, like if somebody told me something harsh, for example, and I didn't exactly have the confidence to like say my reasoning, if I put my meaning into a song on why or if I like explain my reasoning through a song, I feel like that's a lot easier to do that in my opinion, for me, than really just kind of like debating my way through it. But you know, it's my personal opinion. It's just kind of how I like, you know, work through things. And as far as like personal values go, like I'm currently trying to work on like, you know, how to debate better in conversations and how to like be more confident in conversations, because I can't exactly do that forever. I can't exactly like, you know, just like write songs about certain things, like, because that's not exactly what like people want. You know, some people are like, oh, cool, you wrote a song about that. Well, how about you just like explain it through talking? And I'm like, well, that's a little too boring for me. I'd rather just write a song about it. That way it's more creative. And I think it just
that's
I
where
think
your creative juices come from. That's where your creative juices come from. So
yeah, exactly.
Right. Totally get it now. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it like expresses a lot more meaning than just talking. I think
Yeah.
So, so for me, like creating music is something that has helped me out a lot in life and helped me out through depression and anxiety. Just helped me develop a lot more confidence getting on stage. Whereas if I had to like deal with like an angry customer or something like that, there are just some days where I'm like, gosh, I really don't want to deal with this person right now. And so I write a song about that kind of anxiety, and then I move on from that anxiety, and then I feel a lot better doing that. So
well, that's where the hits come from. Don't they say like heartbreak makes the best music or whatever? I don't know. Something like that. Isn't that a saying?
I don't know if that's a saying, but I totally agree with that statement for sure.
I don't know. But yeah, that's where your creative juices come from. So, like I totally get you. You have gone through a lot. We've been there through a lot, so some of this album, for some of us, we know exactly what's it about. So it's going to be exciting. I'm excited to hear it. I'm excited to hear the new music. It's going to be great.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Definitely, yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, that's Alex Lievanos for
Round
you.
of applause.
Round of applause for
Round of
Alex
applause.
Lievanos.
You guys remember doing that, the round of applause in like elementary school or whatever?
Yeah.
Random thought.
Yeah, and I look at the names of your songs on your albums, Alex. You gave me one of your albums, and you donated one of your albums to our station so that we can play your music on Griffin Radio,
which was supposed to come up this year, but sadly not. We were gonna put it on the DAD system, and now we can't. I'm disappointed by that.
Yeah, but hopefully next semester we'll have it on the system. The thing is, we're not going to be there. So the future students will get to hear your music. So how about that?
That's good.
Other people can jam out. Just imagine that somebody's going to be all like, oh, look, I'm going to scroll through the DAD system. Oh my gosh, Alex is on here? Oh my gosh. That's going to happen.
We should have your posters on our walls over there at the studio.
We should. You should sign one. We should put one up. Gee.
Sign one, Alex, and then we'll bring it to the station and we'll hang it up there because there's a bunch of artists that have done that on the walls over there.
And sticker. We need a sticker
stickers
too.
As well.
We can put it on the cabinet.
We could. Yeah,
we put it on the sticker cabinet.
We have a bunch of stickers at the station. They're everywhere.
Oh my gosh. That's awesome.
Yeah. It's really cool.
Yeah.
Well, Alex, like the going back to your album, like the names of the songs, like Fake Feelings, for example, or Ghosted. These are like words that they mean something, right? It's not just you came up with some word when you lay down in bed and then, oh, here, I'm gonna name it that way.
Maybe sometimes. Maybe one or two songs.
Honestly, I legit like sometimes they just kind of like at my head for the most part, really. With Fake Feelings, for example, like I honestly just kind of don't remember how that came to be. But like as I was writing the lyrics for that song, I didn't even think of a title. I just kind of like wrote down the track and I had it for like a month or two. And I was like, I don't know if this song is going to be that great, to be honest. And I legit thought it was going to be like not that great. I thought it was going to be like the worst, but it apparently has, so far right now, it has like 4,000 streams on Spotify, which isn't much, but like, it's like,
oh my gosh.
It's getting there. It's getting there.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
For me, it's a lot. That's like, wow.
For you, yeah.
And I'm one of those people.
Yep.
Oh my God.
Count me in.
I'm sorry, that would be us.
Yeah, we kept playing the refresh button, so that the video could play over and over again and it'll count the views.
I think I made that joke one time. I think you like hit 1,000 like hits on a music video or something, and you're like, who did this? And I was like, oh, sorry, that was me.
Oh my gosh. No, there was like when that album, when the debut album came out, there was one track in particular that got like 2,000 streams like overnight.
What?
Oh yeah.
I think that was the one you're referring
which
to.
one?
And I was like, that was the piano. That was me and
with
Thomas.
Thomas.
Yeah,
With
that was with my friend
yeah.
Thomas. And I was like, Thomas, did you like replay this song over and over? And like, he had no idea. So somebody really loved that song to where they kind of like maybe like replayed it over and over. But that song has 2,000 streams overnight, and I'm like, what?
Insomnia, right? It's called Insomnia.
Yeah, Insomnia. Yeah, that's the one where it's just like a piano interlude going into Ghosted, and somehow that got like 2,000 streams. I'm like, what? Oh my gosh.
And you cuss in that one.
I do. So I guess they probably like the cussing part. That's probably the only part they like about it. It's like, yeah, he says the F word, and I'm like, oh man.
So guys, just to fill you in, Thomas Myers is a piano player. He is a friend of ours, and he helps Alex out in his shows. He is part of Alex's band, and he is currently working on his album. I kind of just like heard from him, weirdly enough. I kind of just like heard of it.
It's already out right now. You can go ahead and listen
exactly.
to it.
I don't know what it's called. I don't remember what it's called.
I can look it up right now.
Yeah, look it up real quick.
See, I don't even know either. See, I'm a horrible frontman. I don't even know my band members' album
Music.
names.
G, you've met Thomas, right?
I did, yeah,
Okay.
a couple times. One at Cuyamaca.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Yeah.
I think I thought about that one night. I'm like, does G even know Thomas? Does Thomas know G? Wait a second. What?
Yeah, he actually follows me on Instagram.
Okay, see, so
Yeah.
shout out to Thomas. Hi, if you're listening to this, Alex, make him listen to this. Alex, make him listen to this.
Hey, Thomas, if you're going to listen in.
Yeah, so the EP is called Hibernation.
There
and
it
you can,
is.
Hibernation Volume 1, and you can go ahead and listen to it on Spotify.
He was talking about releasing a 2 soon. Ooh, spoiler alert. Journalist alert. He's going to release a 2, and there's probably going to be an accordion piece to it, apparently. I don't know anything for sure, so we're just going to have to wait and see. I mean, I haven't spoken to him word of mouth, so...
So, Alex, what is your like most favorite instrument that you would like to play? Like, what's the most that you play?
What can you play? I'm pretty sure you can play everything.
For the most part, yes. My favorite instrument would most likely be guitar. The instrument that I'm really close to right now is singing. And I've been singing since I was 3 or 4. And yeah, I didn't really get a lot of lessons when I was younger. Just mainly just like keyboard lessons and some guitar lessons, but singing, I've only just recently got like a lot of training on it, like back in like 2015 and 2016. Singing for me is like really fun to do. And, you know, it kind of like, it really just changes all the time. Like 1 month I'll like love, like, you know, playing guitar. Another month I'll just love singing. Another month I'll love doing keyboards. And other instruments I could play would be like bass, drums, and a little bit of drums, honestly. And yeah, I think the top 3 for me is just singing, guitar, and doing keyboards.
Yeah, so basically vocals, you know, your voice is an instrument.
No, it's a completely different thing, actually.
Right, and I've been to one of your shows at Cuyamaca, the RPSE one, and you played a little bit of everything. You know, one time you were at the drums, and then while you're in front of the microphone, and the next thing you know, you're playing guitar, and then you just keep going back and forth. And wow, this guy's really multi-talented.
Well, you played drums a lot in rock pop, I remember.
Yeah, it was really fun performing drums in that class. It was a fun class, super fun class. And
do you miss it?
I do miss it. I would like to come back, but honestly, like, I just don't have the time for it right now. And, you know, I kind of like, not in a negative way, but I kind of like sort of grown out of that class where it's like, I've graduated now, and, you know, as much as I like, you know, still going to college, it's like, I mean, there comes a point in time where I'm just like, for me personally, it's like I've kind of grown out of it, and there's not really much reason for me right now, for the time being, to go back. Maybe in the future, but maybe not now per se. I do miss taking that class. I do miss performing in that class. It's pretty different performing in a school setting, whereas playing at like a show at like Soma or House of Blues or something like that. In a school setting, you're doing it for a class and you're doing it for a grade. I never really worry about grades when performing in a school setting, but the audience is really different, performing to a much like calmer crowd. And whereas if you're playing like your own show with your own music, it's like the crowd could be like really like wild, or they can be like, just a few people in the audience and they're just enjoying it. You never know what you're going to get. Whereas with a school audience, it's like there are people there to support what there's students and there are parents there, and there are a lot of elderly people there, the usual like older crowd. And so it's pretty cool to like perform like in a variety of like all ages. Like one venue I'll play with like with a young audience, and then a school setting, it's more of like the older people watching that.
The dramatic performance of "Ooh, She's a Little Runaway" by Bon Jovi.
Oh yeah. Oh my gosh.
Ashley, that was dramatic, Alex.
And I was like, why, thank you.
Aw, I love that concert. That was fun.
It was a fun concert.
Yeah,
it was a good send-off. It was a good farewell concert for me and the Rock Pop and Soul Ensemble, I think.
Yeah, me too. And speaking about like venues, Alex, like what is your most favorite venue that you've ever played at?
My most favorite venue I've ever played at, honestly, like really, man, for me, gosh, there's only really been like 2 or 3 venues I've played at within the last year. I liked Soma a lot because, I mean, I feel like the community there is great. And I also liked playing at Rock and Roll San Diego because it has a more intimate vibe. It's a rehearsal studio, but they also pull out events too, and you can like rent the place too for events as well. It's really kind of like a little loungy type of area when you host an event there at the Hendricks Hall, and a lot of popular bands play there. Steven Tyler, my favorite singer of all time, like has rehearsed there, and yeah.
Wow.
And
there you go.
Yeah, so I've played quite a few shows there and hosted a lot of my own festivals there, and really playing at Coyote Music Festival at Queen Mary College was also pretty cool too. And playing at like an outdoor event is pretty cool, and it's much different than playing in like an indoor venue. You don't really have to worry about lighting if you're doing photography or anything like that, so it's just like,
oh yeah, outside is better.
Yeah, so back in my acoustic days when I've only did like solo acoustic shows, House of Blues was pretty fun. And one venue I've yet to play a show at is the Shea Cafe. I'd like to play a show there really soon, or
Fancy.
Once the whole like quarantine like is like out and we've found, lifts and we found a vaccine, and we don't have to worry about this stuff anymore. Like the Shea Cafe would definitely be a place to play for me.
Where is that?
That's up in La Jolla. That's up in gosh, if memory serves me, I think it's at UCSD, I think.
Oh, okay.
I should know this. But yeah, it's definitely in La Jolla. It's on Gilman Drive, I think. I think that's the address.
Okay, yeah, that sounds familiar.
Let me look it up. I just want to make sure like I get this correct, because I don't want to like say the wrong thing on air and be like, no, Alex, that's the wrong address. And I'm like, bro, I'm doing my best.
I'm trying here, people.
I'm trying here, okay? Sorry. But yeah, the Shea Cafe is definitely the place I would like to play for sure. Let's see. Yeah, so it's 1000 Scholars Drive, South La Jolla, California, 92037. That's the exact address.
There There you go, people. If you want to go there, you have the address now.
Hooray.
You can start lining up right now. Go see Alex Lievanos. Cool stuff, Alex. Sarah, is there anything that you want to ask Alex or?
Yeah. So Alex, why don't you take us through your music process? So obviously here at Giovanni and Sara in the morning, when we go and we edit a video, we have Audition, we have Premiere, we're editing all of our tracks together, especially when you're working with multiple people, you have multiple tracks, so you have to put it together. So Alex, is that the same for music? Do you record them all individually and then you put them together at one time? Or what do you do?
It's actually pretty similar. I'll just take each track. I'll mainly just record the drums first. For me, electronic drums, whatever preset that I use, I'll basically start with those first and start with a beat, and then I'll start with the melody. I know this is super cliche for every musician that works on music, but for me, a lot of people write lyrics first and then the music, but for me, I like to write the music first, then the lyrics. I like to set the tone, I like to set the theme to what I'm writing about. What is this song going to be about? This song is going to be about breaking up with somebody. This song is going to be about mishap with a good friend of yours. That is definitely going to be worth writing a song over. So a darker tone, or if it's going to be a nicer tone or a happier type of song. For me, if I write a song about breaking up with somebody that I was close with, or if I write a song about, family that I'm not so close with anymore, the tone of that song is going to be a lot harsher. Not necessarily heavier as in there's going to be heavier distorted guitars.
Makes heavy metal
it's more
joke
just
again.
going to be as far as lyrical tones go, it's going to be a lot deeper. It's going to be a lot more, I felt like this. People would be like, whoa, he didn't mention this before. Or maybe he did, but it's a lot more in depth. And I'm hoping that, for people who have dealt with that type of heartbreak within family or just with a loved one, I hope they can resonate with that and know that they're not alone when they deal with that stuff.
Yeah. What song are you going to cover next?
I'm not sure yet. I'm hoping, I'm working on, I'm working on another Buddha Trixie song. It's their newest song, Kismet. I'm working on that right now. I'm going to try to record the vocals once I get my new mic in. That way I don't have to use this thing that isn't really as good. But yeah, I'm hoping I'm going to be starting all the guitar parts hopefully tomorrow or the next day. And it's kind of a complex song, even though it's really straightforward, but hopefully I'll be able to get through within a couple weeks or so. Maybe, or who knows, maybe I might procrastinate on it, work on other cover songs before I finish it, which is what I tend to do. I tend to write cover songs, or no, I work on cover songs, but I'd never finish them. And then I return to them and finish them. And it's okay, cool, I actually finished it. And now I can video myself singing it now, and it'll be good to go.
All right. Well, cool. Well, we are excited for that.
Cool stuff. So you have your own ways of creating a song. Each artist has their own unique way of approach into making a song. How long does it take you to write a song, for example? One song, the lyrics, how long does it take?
One song can take a day to write, and then another song could take months, actually. And it really just depends on how long I would like to work with that song. A lot of people say you need to write a song a day. And for me, it's I like working at my own pace, and I like sort of just kind of experimenting what can be done. The song doesn't exactly have to be finished, but at least have an idea of what it would sound like. And then if I'm not sure at that moment, I'll just come back to it. There have been creative ideas or beats that I work on. Sometimes I just leave those beats for months, and then I come back to them at a later time, and then I come up with more ideas now that I have more time to sort of think about it. I'll come up with lyrics, and I'll ask myself, do I want to use these kind of lyrics in this song, or do I want to use lyrics on this kind of song? It really just depends on the tone. Would it fit with the vibe that this song is going for, the type of tone that song is going for? It really just all depends, and it can take a really short time. For me, Ghosted, it took 2 days to record. That
Wow.
was the first birthday show I've made And I remember I was working on new stuff after the EP came out, and I remember I was like, I kind of want to add like, or I want to like write a song that has no guitars at all. And that's what Ghosted happened. So I just did keyboards and then just like a simple drum pattern. And then when I listened back to it, it's like, okay, well, this is okay, I guess. I mean, I would come back to it later on. The next morning, I wake up and I listen back to it again. And then I just get all these creative ideas all like out of the blue. It like worked like magic. Like I didn't have to like,
Dang.
eat a certain type of food or anything like that. I didn't have to drink a certain type of like coffee or soda or whatever juice that like I can find to like suddenly process that idea. It just kind of happened all of a sudden, and then like the song sort of wrote itself. And I feel like it's important to like, if you have like writer's block and then coming back to it after a week, it can definitely like sprout out ideas during that time frame when you have a break towards that specific idea that you're trying to like accomplish, or a song that you're trying to finish, but you don't exactly have the right lyrics right now. And that break could be within like a week or a month, sometimes like even more months. And unfortunately, sometimes it may not come back at all unless it like happens right down the road. But yeah, there's been like a lot of unfinished songs that I've had since like 2014.
Whoa.
Yeah, all those times. And I've played those songs live before. They sound finished, but like to me, they're just not that finished yet. And
It's missing that little touch. That it's missing something.
yeah, exactly. It's missing something, and like I don't know what it is. But hopefully with time, I'll finally figure it out. It's like when you finally have to find that last puzzle piece, it's like, okay, cool, now it's ready. And then you finally like finish it and everything's good to go. So, but yeah, hopefully that will help out upcoming songwriters that are just like starting to write new music and whatnot. And it takes a lot of time to write songs that you're okay with. And the one important factor I can say is that like, write music that's good to you. And first, and then if people enjoy it, that's great. Make sure that you're satisfied with what you wrote, because if you write songs that you feel like that people are going to like, but you yourself are not going to like, you're not going to be happy with what you write. I remember when I first started just going into pop music, I didn't really know if that was going to be a good fit for me. But then I started to kind of like listen to a lot more like pop influences that I enjoyed, like Tame Impala and Charlie Puth and Rex Orange County and Claro and all those good indie pop artists. With that in mind, I got a lot better understanding of what that indie pop genre that I was going for. Kind of just went with like the rest of my other influences, whether it's like lyrical or musical. It all helps with the writing process tremendously.
Definitely, yeah. Really cool stuff, Alex. Really impressed with what you do.
Thank you.
With as someone who wants to go, let's say someone who wants to go into the music industry, what is your advice that you want to give them?
The one advice I can give them is everything takes time, and you really got to have patience, especially if you want to become a rock star tomorrow. That's obviously not going to happen. I definitely know some people who have like this idea where it's like, I kind of want to be famous, and I kind of want to like, be in a stage where, I can, make music full time. And that takes a while to do. For some people, it takes like a couple of years. Some people it takes like
overnight.
Yeah, overnight.
Yeah.
Like that's very, very rare. And even that, if that happens overnight, it's really just going to be a trend that's going to die out. Like, that's going to fade away.
Like a fad.
Pretty much. Yeah. It's just a fad.
Yeah.
And like, I'd rather just work on my career through many years and then eventually have enough people to support my music financially.
Yeah.
That enjoy my music to where like I can just do whatever I want and be able to make music as a living. And that's kind of my main goal as a musician. It's not to be famous. It's not to be playing into sold out arenas. That would be nice. That might happen. It may not.
Alex,
who knows?
it will.
But for me,
it will.
for me, like, all I want to do is just, make people happy with my music. And that's my ultimate goal. I don't care if it's 50 people. I don't care if it's like 500,000. I think if I have one person that I've sort of like helped throughout in their life that is going through, tough obstacles in life, whether it's like heartbreak or just like family trauma or whatever it is. If they tell me like, oh dude, like I listened to your song and it's really helped me out a lot. And, it's my favorite song by you. That means so much to me. And I know that's cliche to say, because a lot of like people say like, oh yeah, that's so much to me and whatnot. It's really something that like makes me happy. It makes me have a purpose in life. And that's why music's so important to me, is that it's something that I'm like somewhat decent at. And it's definitely helped me out with, dealing with life in general. And it's helped me create like lots of cool songs that I liked and really proud of. A lot of people do enjoy, and I'm really happy to be working with such a creative team. For example, you guys. And as far as like producers go, like they've always been like really helpful, and they've always given me like honest opinions about what to like, make the song better. And it's been really fun. It's been really great. And I wouldn't change it for the world.
Wow, truly inspiring.
No, we totally get where you're coming from. I feel like that's the same like with us, with G and I, like anybody who listens to our show or our podcast, it means a lot because they actually sat down and they listened, like when you or Ashley or Evan, or Kelly or anybody, when they say, oh yeah, I sat down and I listened to your show, it's still like, wow, okay, you actually took the time. Mm-hmm. You didn't have to, but you did. And it's the same with you and your music,
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
They sat down, they listened to your music, there's 100 different songs out there, but they chose yours. And it doesn't matter who you are, how famous you are, that means a lot. And I think that means a lot to anybody who is an artist, who's a painter, who's a writer, who's, in the radio business. If somebody took the time to say, hey, I really like that, it means a lot. It's heartfelt.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and when someone says that to you, it motivates you to continue doing what you're doing and even do better things in life, because it's worth it, because there's actually people who are taking the time out of their lives to listen to your art, your content. All right. So is there anything else that we need to touch on? Alex, would you like to shout out anyone on our podcast, Alex? Or?
I'd like to shout out Thomas Meyer for being an amazing keyboard player.
Yes, Thomas.
I'd like to shout out Tristan Brooks, my guitar player, for being an amazing guitar player and just, taking the time to learn my songs. I'd like to send a shout out to Riley Conway, my drummer, who is like an amazing drummer at 16 years old. He's really good. Like he's, oh my gosh. And Sean Park, my bass player, he's really good. And as far as other people shouting out, let's see. Shout out to Griffin Radio for interviewing me during quarantine.
Yes. Woohoo.
If I could ask a question, if that's cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
What do you guys do, or what do you guys think about Adobe Premiere, like as an editing tool?
You want to start, Sarah, or do you want me to start?
Well, I have had experience with Adobe since I think last semester, when I actually did your video or whatever. I don't remember what it was, but I remember it was at Lestats. Yeah, it was at Lestats. Yeah, so I had experience with that, and I got a feel in that. But with our Griffin Radio, what we do on Premiere is there's not really anything to edit.
Gotcha.
We have our voices, and then we just put in a picture, we put in the logo, or if we do put a picture in us, it's nothing moving. So it's kind of simple. I feel like it is. It's much more simple than actually like editing a video. But that's just me. Gee, what do you think about it?
Well, for the longest time, to be honest with you guys, I've been using Final Cut Pro. And when I got into Grossmont and when I knew that they were only using Adobe Premiere, I got really scared because when I looked at Adobe, I was like, oh my gosh, that looks so complicated to do.
Yeah.
But I started recently learning Adobe just a few weeks ago when the virus went out, and I had no choice but to learn it. And so I got into it. There were tutorials, and it was pretty simple, to be honest with you. And I honestly love it so much now. I want to buy it together with Audition.
shout out to Grossmont for letting us, use it in this time for free. We're on our school accounts and we have them downloaded onto our home computers. So, thank you, Grossmont, for letting us do that.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we have it for free with our school emails, and so we take advantage of it as much as we can.
That's awesome. Yeah, I'm glad they gave you guys that. I just use iMovie.
That too.
I mean, it works just the same.
Anything really.
I also want to send a special shout out to all the essential workers out there that are putting their lives on the line, helping out in grocery stores and any restaurants that does takeout or drive through. I want to send a special shout out to all the doctors that are currently dealing with all the COVID-19 patients. I know how overwhelming it must be, or no, actually, I couldn't imagine how overwhelming it must be. It must be a very scary time, and I really hope that we all pull through this eventually, and all of you guys are amazing, and I definitely am very grateful and very thankful to have you guys around. And yeah, Gia and Sarah, would you like to add anything?
Yeah, thank you to everybody who's giving out food, especially my mom. My mom's a lunch lady, so, nobody else is saying it. So thank you, lunch ladies, if you are, taking the time to feed the kids at school. I know that's very important. The kids who don't get food, any restaurants who are giving out food for the kids, we thank you. Thank you to everybody, who's an essential worker, even if you're just working at Target or Best Buy. Thank you for being out there, for actually having to come in contact with people, still keeping that social distance, but still having to be there in the moment. Thank you.
And I would like to give out a special thank you to my mom, who's an essential worker. She works with the elderly. We have home care facilities, multiple locations across San Diego. And I'd like to thank all our workers and our staff that are working hard right now during this time. I just did an interview with my mom for one of my classes, and she did amazing in the interview. And I can't wait to add her into that project, and so it'll end up on TV, so stay tuned for that. It's one of the local channels on Cox. I think it's channel 16, something like that. But our professor
at 2 a.m, right?
Yeah, somewhere around that time. We don't know yet exactly when it's going to air, but it will end up on TV, and the projects that we work on with the news. And so with MCOM 217, shout out to everyone there for making things happen. And thank you to everyone. We appreciate what you guys do. We appreciate the military. Thank you for your service.
And lastly, thank you to everybody who took the time to listen. Whether you are a fan of Griffin Radio or you are a fan of Alex Lievanos, thank you for tuning in to this YouTube content. Thank you, for Alex for being here. It's amazing. I'm glad we got to do this because this was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it.
Absolutely. I did too. It was really fun.
Yes. And if you guys haven't already, if you have checked out Alex's newest album right now, it's called Distant. It's out right now. Check that out. He has his own website too, Alex, right?
I do. It's www.alexlievanos.com. My last name is spelled Lievanos. Alex as ALEX. alexlievanos.com. It's if you just type it up on your Google search bar, it'll come right up. And the album's listed right there, and you can listen on the website or listen to it through Spotify, Apple Music, Tidal, any of those streaming services. It's available.
And they could also follow you on social media as well, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Facebook, Instagram. My Facebook is just Alex Lievanos. Instagram is also Alex Lievanos. My Twitter is a little different. It's just Alex_Lievanos. And then, let's see. I don't really do Snapchat anymore, so
unless it's
Facebook,
me
Twitter.
bugging you on Snapchat.
Yeah, I mean,
I added you, Alex. I added you.
I know you did.
Thank you.
Honestly, the Snapchat fonts are better than the Instagram fonts, and it's just sometimes I'll just save the photo and then export it, and then I'll just use that for Instagram. It's wow, the fonts are so much better. And cool. That's where to find me. And my social security number is.
And this is where his house is, people. Go stalk him.
You will never find me.
Yeah.
Wait, before going into that, weren't you on a vlog one time when you went to go see like a concert, and weren't you on a vlog and like the person who was vlogging like filmed the outside of your house?
I legit don't remember. I legit don't remember. I'm trying to like remember right now. I forgot which show it was. Gosh. Jeez. Yeah, I don't remember, honestly. Like, and I know exactly what you're talking about, but it's like becoming a blank to me because I got really, really like, I was having a little too much to drink at that show, and then I kind of forgot about it. But I think it was at that 1975 show.
I think that's what it was, yeah.
And
that's what it was.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, yeah, now I remember now. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, my friend was gonna vlog it. I don't know what she did with that yet, but if she finished it or not, but we'll see. Maybe I'll ask her. But I remember I was really, really I was having a good time. Had a little too much to drink, but whatever.
That's the best kind of concert, isn't it? The ones you can't remember.
All right, guys, so that'll do it for us today for our special podcast with our special guest, San Diego's one and only Alex Lievanos, ladies and gentlemen. So, Alex, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah,
thank
definitely.
You.
Thank you so much for joining us on our podcast here in Giovanni and Sara. You're a local break artist, so please, guys, if you're listening right now, be sure to check him out. Comment below what your favorite song is from him. Listen to his songs. And if you've reached this part of our podcast all the way through the hour, thank you so much for joining us. Comment below as well and give us a big fat like. And so here are our socials. So if you want to follow us on Instagram, our Instagram is at Griffin Radio SD. On Facebook, we have a profile, Griffin Radio SD. We're also listed as Griffin Radio as well on a second page. And then on Twitter, it is G_Radio SD. You can also contact us, speak to us, give us a holler at gradiostation119@gmail.com. Or you can go to our website, www.grossmont.edu/griffinradio, and you will be immediately directed to our YouTube channel right here. And just recently, we just announced that we are now back streaming on the TuneIn app. So that's very exciting. And the thing is with that, it's not going to be live. It's going to be all recorded programming on that app. And so if you hear us there, it's not going to be live. It's just going to be something that we took and worked on for the longest time. And it's just going to be smacked right added into that playlist. So be sure to tune in there as well. But YouTube is our main thing right now until this virus is over. So Sarah, I'll go ahead and toss it over to you.
All right, guys, that's it for us. Like G said, give us a big fat like, subscribe, hit that bell. You know, we're going to have content every week, so get ready for that. And we will see you guys all next week.
You are listening to Giovanni
and Sarah.
In the morning or in the evening or whatever.
Whatever time you're listening to it.
Whatever it is.
Whatever day it is.
Thanks for tuning in, guys.
All right.
Have a great rest of your week and wash your hands.
Yes. Keep that social distance. 6 feet apart.
Social distance.
G.
Wear your mask.
Yeah, wear your mask. All right. Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye.